All right, what's up, everybody? I am back on Milwaukee, going down the same path to Logan Square, meeting another guy this time. I'm just out here meeting all sorts of guys in Chicago. This one's a little different, a little bit more special. He's a fellow Korean entrepreneur. His name is Leo. He's an online fitness coach, and I've been seeing his stuff. I gave him a follow. You know, he's a younger guy, hustling. I really appreciate any sort of entrepreneurship hustle. So I shot my shot. I DM'd him. I said, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago for 3 weeks. Are you down to meet up? And when someone completely random DMs you on the internet and says, I want to meet up, it makes sense to be cautious, right? It's like, he doesn't even know who I am. He never saw my stuff, I don't think. Not that I have a lot of stuff or, a lot of content that's worth following as of right now, at least, or at the time I reached out, maybe. But he was open for it. He was willing to meet up. So I am headed over to Block 37 to meet at Magnolia Bakery. And I also even told him I'm going to bring my DJI. Maybe we can record some of our conversations. Told him I've had way too many great conversations with other entrepreneurs that went unrecorded. And, I would hate to let that happen again, especially if our conversations go well, which I think it will. So, this is the type of, networking that I never thought I'd ever do, but just connecting with random guys on the internet, just sharing, our highs and lows, what's working for us, what's not working for us, our backstories, why we're doing this. It's the community and, mutual support is kind of what keeps us going. So I'm looking forward to meeting this guy. He's a shredded fitness coach, so hopefully I don't look too shabby next to him. But it's walking down another hot, humid day in Chicago. I'll be at the Logan Square stop soon, and this time hopefully we can find a good spot to set up our camera and actually get some footage of the conversation. So here we go. By the way, this Giordano's bussin'. We had it when our friend visited, and everything was amazing. Cheese pool was amazing. $6 beer was so much. Great first meal in Chicago for a friend. All right, back at Logan Square, going down the stairs. I'm kind of taking the not main exit, so it's nice and quiet in here. Let's see if I can get a peaceful train. Hey. It is currently, oh my goodness, it is currently like 9:30 right now, so slightly off peak hours. I think everyone should already be at work, and it's just random people like me who are getting on the train. But Logan Square is a pretty popular stop. It's a pretty big stop, so and it's awesome when the express train starts to take off starting from here. So every time I would be late to school and the train goes express, I'm like, ooh, it's a lucky day for me. And late to school is in when I was a teacher, not when I was like a student. I was a teacher at Whitney Young High School for 2 years, and this is Logan Square Blue Line is where I got on for my second year to get to school every day. Google Maps is telling me to get on the front of the train for the fastest exit. I don't know if you can see that, so I gotta head over to the front of the train, which is coming. Oh, that UIC train, but I can still take it because I'm only going to Block 37. All right, just got off at Washington. I should be at Block 37 anytime soon now. One thing I did not miss about Chicago is the back sweat. When you're walking down the street outside, 5 minutes in, your back is just covered with those sweat beads. And when you're wearing a backpack, it's game over. Your back is just instantly drenched, and that's why I'm always wearing my backpack on one side like this, so I can at least let my back breathe and airflow. But the back sweat is pretty crazy in Chicago just because the humidity is so much more than LA. Alright, so this is Block 37. One of the reasons I chose Magnolia Bakery is so that I can bring my wife home a banana pudding, which is one of our favorite desserts. It's not that they don't have it in LA, I think just Chicago. Thank you. Chicago Magnolia Bakery is kind of a classic. Do they have one in LA? I just can't actually remember at this point. This is also a good meeting spot indoors. covered. It's hot, it might rain outside. There's coffee at Magnolia, so I'm here a little early. Let's see, 10:15, it's 10:14. We're supposed to meet at 10:30. I feel good being 15 minutes early, so I think I should meet up with the guy anytime soon now. You know, we barely came to Block 37 when we lived here. There are some stores. I think I just meant to like, I just went to like Banana Republic and Magnolia Bakery, and that's it. Didn't really shop much here. The first thing I need to do is find the bathroom, and I do know that there's a bathroom here, because I've gone to the bathroom here. Just need to ask somebody to figure out where. It's empty here, which might make it perfect for just comfortably and casually recording. I'll probably get some coffee with the guy when he comes, and we'll see. It's not bad. Yeah, it's kind of weird that it's empty. I guess it's a Tuesday morning. Why would you be here? Because every time I come here, it used to be packed, but maybe Block 37 Magnolia isn't the place to go anymore. Let's do some window shopping, see what's available. I really don't film in public like this, so this is really a first time experience for me, but thank you. Banana pudding, classic. That's all I need. Alright, check this out. So, not alone, not a completely private train, but quiet enough. And I can't believe I did this, but I let the first train go because the second train was coming shortly after, and I thought it was gonna be less packed. I did get one of these like corner seats, so I have some privacy, so I can talk and film on this train. Once again, don't know how good the audio is gonna be, but actually last time it was pretty good despite how loud it was. Met with Leo, very cool guy, very nice guy. Appreciate the hustle, great conversation. We once again could not get any footage of us talking. It's just we didn't really have like the privacy, and there wasn't a good spot to like, you know, set our phones down or our cameras down, but definitely talked about a lot of great things. Loved hearing his story about how he got started and just the emotional roller coaster that he went through, which I could resonate to so much, because a lot of times when business owners start, their beginnings are very humble, myself included, and we think about a runway. We think about how much money is in our bank account, and then we do the math on how many months we can stay alive with this money in our bank account, how many months of rent, and how much we can squeeze out of our, groceries and daily expenses. And yeah, I can't believe it's been 3 years since I've started my business. And on that topic, I could share more about what my business looked like, what my finances looked like when I first got started, when I got off this train. But yeah, it's just, as we were sharing our background stories, I realized, what was I thinking? Quitting my full-time job, starting a business, and then moving across the country from Chicago to LA all within a 6 months period. But I think everything just kind of lined up. The universe said, go pack your bags and get out of Chicago. And, we're very happy in LA. We made it work. And 3 years later, we're still growing, still learning, still alive, and really more than just alive, we're thriving. So still feels like we're just getting started, but definitely not a complete beginner to this entrepreneurship business world. My goodness. Just got off at Logan Square. I'm walking back home the exact same path that I walked in my last video. And back when I used to live here, I used to actually go out that way, but now I'm actually going out the other way. So as I said, I want to share about some of the finance milestones I hit when I started my business. So it was May 2022. I was just about getting ready to leave Braze. I had 2 job offers, one at Acorns for about 130K, including base bonus equity, and then another one at Tempo for 150K plus a little bit more equity. 2 great job offers, 2 very reputable brands, but I think something told me, I was like, you know what, even if I take these jobs, it's just a matter of time until I get burnt out again, until I'm kind of feeling stuck in maybe the corporate rat race. So I actually gave my 2 weeks notice at Braze with the plan of starting my Braze consulting business. The very first 2 months after I left Braze, I actually took a quick break for myself, and I used that summer to going up the stairs. I used that summer to help my brother maybe try to start like a music content creation project, right? I served as like his social media music manager, his agent. We posted on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. We actually even put up a listing on some wedding gigs, and we did get one successful $200 gig where an uncle paid for us to play at his nephew's proposal. He's like, my nephew's about to propose. He's a kid. He doesn't have anything figured out. He doesn't even have music, and we need something. So can you play a violin in the background while he proposes? This guy just kind of catcalled me saying make that content, so I appreciate that, man. But after about a month or 2 of social media management / music agent, I knew that that's not exactly what I wanted to do. That's not why I left Braze to do. And my brother, it was ready for him to go back to school, and it was time for me to start really anchoring down on this new Braze consulting career. So it was about July, it was about June at the time. I'm still working with my brother, but starting to do some Braze outreach. And actually July 1st is when I was able to find my first client, first Braze customer, which honestly is very, very fast for someone just starting out a new business. To find a customer within 2 months of quitting their job back in May. But me having that previous in-house Braze experience went a super long way. It kind of gave the market and the potential prospects kind of immediate credibility that I actually know how to run Braze and I know what I'm doing. And and then shortly after that, Braze, I had formed a partnership with Braze by that point. Once again, super helpful because I had worked at Braze, so I did my networking before I left. And then Braze sent me my second customer shortly after I found my first customer. I'm so very, very thankful, very, very fortunate that after about 2 months of leaving Braze, I was able to find my first 2 customers, which was enough, more than enough, to pay the bills, have some savings, and really just kind of sustain our finances and extend our runway. And I mentioned the word runway before. I've talked about that idea of when I quit Braze in May 2022, we had $30,000 in our savings. I don't actually even know how we had $30,000. Like, I don't know where that came from. I think a lot of that maybe came from our wedding gifts. We had just been diligently saving. All my bonuses typically went straight to the savings. Now that I'm talking about this, I am kind of grateful for my old self that was super frugal, super stingy, saving wherever I can. But honestly, maybe it's my old past self that was able to save enough money to buy a new life and a new chapter for me and my wife. So maybe it wasn't such a bad thing after all. Anyway, $30K in the savings, monthly rent was $2K, plus other expenses. I think our spendings were about $5K per month. And I remember telling myself, we have 6 months of runway. If we made $0, we still have 6 months where we can pay for our lives, assuming our expenses stay at $5K per month. And then on top of that, I got my first customer at, I think both my first 2 customers were $5K for about a month. So that definitely helped out, added more to our savings and our runway. And then by this time, once again, as I talk about, I don't know what I was thinking, but our lease was coming to an end in October, and we kind of came down to 2 main decisions, which was, do we try to buy a house, buy property in the Chicago suburbs, which is the classic move to live in the city and then move out to the suburbs, so I have a place there, or do we uproot our lives and really aim for a new environment? And do something we've never got the chance to do, which was move across the country to go to Los Angeles. And we knew LA was our second place. I think at the time, maybe our social media feed was listening to us. It was just feeding us why we should move to LA, why we should move out of our home city, why we should take risks, all of that. It was very much in line with how I quit and started this business, but also being in a new environment that energizes you, all of that. So somehow we decided, let's use a big chunk of that $30,000 savings, plus a little bit of income that's slowly coming in, to move to LA. And that move cost more than $6,000. And it was pretty hectic too, because we had a trip to Korea planned in September, and then we came back, and then before we went to Korea, we went to LA for a week to apartment search like crazy. I actually have a YouTube video where we try apartment searching. Came back, went to Korea for 2 weeks, came back, and then it was time to pack and move out to LA. 2022 was truly a crazy year where I quit my full-time job, found my first few independent business consultants, and then moved across the country with my wife from Chicago to LA. But we managed to make it work. We figured it out. Somehow we're still here, and now just being back in the home city of Chicago and reflecting on this and kind of playing back the timeline, which I always think about and talk about, but it's the longer we are, the further away we are getting from 2022, the hazier my memory is about what that looked like, what life looked like, what I was thinking, what our day-to-day looked like. So it's nice to talk about it and document some of these memories. It's very interesting, but money's one of those things where if you're really determined to hit a goal, you set a goal and you figure out a path towards it, it just happens. Somehow you just get there. And that's why people focus so much on manifesting and daily affirmations and writing your goals down. But I think it's largely true. You know, when I was 24 years old, making $55,000 as a public high school teacher, somehow I was able to save up $24,000 by 24 years old to pay off the student loans that my parents had been paying for me for all throughout undergrad and a few years after. Every year they took out maybe like 20 to 30K of loans, and their monthly payments were $250. And every year when they did that, the monthly payments would double and then triple the third year. And then the fourth year wasn't quite the full amount, but they were paying about $1,000 per month in repaying my student loans. So that was always kind of a big burden for me. And when I was able to finally save up to 24K and pay it off all at once by dumping all of that, that felt amazing. Once again, how the heck did I save 24K at age 24 with a 50K, 60K paying job? I do not know. I think it's the living with cockroaches that helped me save up that much. And I even think about, how did I even manage to buy my wife her engagement ring, which really didn't cost that much. But at the time, just thinking about how much of our income and our expenses that single ring cost, you manage to figure it out, right? One way or another, whether you're taking loans or not, whether you're in debt or not, whether you are hustling and doing the craziest things to make money or not, you figure it out one way or another. Earlier this year, I finally hit my goal of having $100,000 saved in liquid cash in our savings account. And that's been a huge mental cushion, a huge mental encouragement to keep pushing. And if all fails, that will last us, at this point, our expenses are much higher. We live in LA. Lifestyle creep has definitely entered the chat, but that should last us definitely more than 6 months, but not much more, which some of you will leave some hate comments for that. But the idea is, my point here is, have a number in mind, have a goal in mind, figure out a plan towards it, and just make it happen one way or another. And then, as I'm saying this though, I am still kind of running into the blockers for next step, right? What is my next big milestone? Is it 200K? Is it $1 million? How do I get there? We've been kind of at this standstill for a while where income revenue is pretty stable. Our 100K, it's funny. The moment I hit 100K and I stopped thinking about how to save more, it's just stayed at 100K. No change. So is it just a matter of setting a goal and thinking, now I want 200K? Maybe. And at least thankfully we haven't had to touch it. It's still been at 100K, but Yeah, just as we plan more and more about think about the future and plan for the future. Hey, how's it going? Just said hi to the Airbnb building owner, great guy. Yeah, just how do we push ourselves to the next level? And I hope that this story, my story, and this video can give some of you that motivation to set a goal, work towards it. My mom's car is frying in the hot sun, but it is time to head back up and start my work day. So thank you for joining and listening, and I will see you all next time. How could I forget the mandatory... Oh, wrong key. Puri! Puri, how you doing? Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh, I don't know how to control this DJI angle. Oh, that's not the right setting. Puri! Aigo! Oh my gosh, I can't even show this girl. Okay. Puri, were you waiting for Appa? Where are you? Where's the camera? This camera is not even capturing Puri. Alright. Maybe selfie's the way to go. Hi, Dani! Oh my god! Were you waiting? When did Oma leave? Were you watching Bluey? Hi. How you doing? Oh, maybe the idea is to lower the camera instead of trying to bend it down, because it just wants to keep pointing straight. So, oh my gosh! Yeah, this last clip is just me learning the camera. Aigo. Crazy. Appa's a little sweaty. Charissa, did you miss me? Were you scared? Were you lonely? Oh my goodness. Okay. Puri, say something. Okay, one last time. Oh, you gotta lower the camera, because it's always gonna try to be parallel with the ground. Got it. Okay, bye everybody.